This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, folks, as you're making your spring and summer plans to get outside, I hope you'll include a little bit of history with that. And a great opportunity to do so will be the Fort Larned Old Guards Digging Fort Larned. And that's at the Fort Larned National Historic Site. So basically central to a little western Kansas. My good friend Doug Scott, who is a retired archaeologist from the National Park Service, one of the leading archaeological persons, archaeologist in the country, if not the world. He's just pretty amazing. Is going to be there along with Tim Weston and Gina Powell. So let's take a look at Fort Larned and why it is so interesting and its role in not only Kansas history, but the history of the Santa Fe Trail, and the state of Kansas, and the whole West. Through its primary use as a trade route, the Santa Fe Trail contributed to a vibrant cultural exchange and, over time, a lasting cultural shift as American society spread across the Great Plains. Trade on the Santa Fe brought some cultures together as much as it tore others apart. Fort Larned was right in the middle, geographically and chronologically. Fort Larned was established in response to hostilities along the Santa Fe Trail. It is a proper place for a military post, and we should be the depot of supplies for any troops acting against Indians on that line, reported Major John C. McFerrin in 1865 as construction was beginning on the sandstone buildings of the fort. Fort Larned is situated directly on the dry route of the Santa Fe Trail, which follows the Pawnee Fork of the Arkansas River. Fort Larned is just a few miles north of the wet route, which more closely follows the Arkansas. Fort Larned was one of a series of forts along the Santa Fe Trail, spaced to provide adequate protection along the entire trail. Fort Zara to the northeast and Fort Dodge to the southwest were Fort Larned's nearest neighbors along the Santa Fe Trail. Fort Hays, located nearer the railroad route that eventually eclipsed the Santa Fe Trail, was about 60 miles to the north. Fort Larned's troops patrolled the Santa Fe Trail 70 miles in either direction from the fort, and at some times escorted wagon trains down the trail to deter attacks. In time, Fort Larned and other forts along the Santa Fe Trail played their part in establishing lasting U.S. control over the Great Plains. Santa Fe Trail travelers were also trespassing on land already inhabited by tribes such as the Kiowa, Apache, Comanche, Arapaho, and Cheyenne. Although most interactions between trail travelers and American Indians were peaceful, distrust was pervasive on both sides. Wagon trains laden with supplies were high-value targets for the type of ambush attacks and raiding in which native warriors excelled. Pushed farther from productive hunting grounds and frustrated by white activities and hostility over time, many native warriors struck back to defend their homes. As trail traffic increased by the mid-19th century, episodes of violence increased in kind. Fear of being attacked was nearly a constant for travelers. Although the last wagon trail passed by well over 100 years ago, and most of the trail has been erased by newer roads, cities, and agricultural fields, there are still places where visitors can see the original trail ruts carved by thousands of passing wagons so long ago. Visitors to Fort Larned National Historic Site can view Santa Fe trail ruts at a detached park site 5 miles from the fort via gravel roads. Thanks, folks. It's been great having you with me today. We'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.